worried that you might be the cool kid, you wear the latest fashions on top of all the trends? Or have you ever worried you were too much in the mainstream, always so generic, more normal than your friends? Well, we've devised a test to put to rest your fears. There's no need to panic if you lend us your ears. Tonight you can't sleep easy after all that you've heard, 'cause if you like the show, then you're probably a nerd. Oh, Canon, it's all. Tyler, Phil, and Boris. Oh, Canon, it's Canon, it's all. In Canon.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the It's Canon Podcast, the show where we talk about all things geek, the show where we talk about all things pop culture, the show where we talk about anything and everything, because everything in this world is in canon. We're your hosts. I'm Boris, and as always, I am joined by Phil.
Do I work for Tesla now?
Jesus Christ.
Is it going to be one of those days?
I think it will be. It feels like it will be.
Yeah. How's it going, everybody? How you doing, Boris?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. A little tired. Long weekend here on the podcasting front with it being WrestleMania and everything, right? But can't complain. Overall, things are going well. Things are going fun. Things have been they've been going, to say the least. Had an issue with the A Plus Productions feeds, including this one, but everything is sorted. We're good. We're going to do our best to come at you each and every single Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. But the reality is, as everyone knows, shit happens, but we will be doing our best.
Does shit ever happen? What was it last time? It was a while ago, and we were lamenting some of our bodily injuries, and then shit went crazy for me. I know things weren't great for you. But I'm not going to bring it up because it seems like when we talk about it, we invite more. So
Exactly. But yeah, no, overall, it's been crazy. It's been absolutely crazy trying to do like 20 things at once, literally, as we're podcasting right now. But yeah, man, it's good to be back. Always good to nerd out, geek therapy, as I used to always call it. But yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Last of Us. We're going to be talking some Last of Us. We're going to be talking some Daredevil. We're going to be talking some Fantastic Four. We're going to be talking some Disney and Star Wars and all that fun stuff. But Phil, what have you been watching?
We can throw in a morsel of May the 4th Lego goodness as well, because it all got announced. So there's Amazon. Yay, no Lego today. But yeah, it's prepping to be a fantastic time as a Star Wars fan. I was captivated by a lot of what we saw at Celebration. But in terms of what I'm watching, I definitely finished off DareDevil Born Again, or the Rebirth, or whatever the hell it was called, the newest one.
Born Again.
I'm in the middle of Last of Us 2. I just finished the second episode today of season 2. I've watched a season of a show that was on Adult Swim, and it was Common Side Effects cartoon.
Okay.
And it's by Mike Judge, the guy who did King of the Hill, and Idiocracy, and numerous things that I find really funny. Silicon Valley, things like that. He's a good message kind of guy. And it was an interesting cartoon because the bad guy in the cartoon was Big Pharma. So I found that was a fascinating take on a cartoon where it's like one guy's trying to make a strain of mushroom that can heal anything, but has some weird common side effects. And he meets up with an ex-girlfriend or an ex-friend from school, or a friend from school that they haven't talked in a while, and she's working for Big Pharma. And then there's a big subplot of the people who own Big Pharma trying to discourage this drug from ever getting released. And therefore, they're trying to rub the guy out. They're trying to get him taken care of. And then, stuff happens. There within lies the adventure, the cartoon. It was a really good show. I recommend everybody who enjoys or might think they would enjoy something like that, go watch it. It's really good. And I'd like to see more stuff like that from creators like him. How about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I've been watching a ton of things. Honestly, I've been saving up for Vegas, so I'm just tired all the time now. Work's been insane, so just trying to focus on work, trying to focus on the podcast and stuff. Everything with A Plus, some huge news on the A Plus wrestling front coming in the next few weeks. But yeah, man, it's I've been watching a lot. The Pit on HBO Max. Fucking fantastic. Loved it. If you're a fan of real feeling medical dramas, The Pit is for you. It's kind of like the spiritual successor of ER. So Noah Wild, he wrote it. And I read somewhere, don't quote me on this, but he originally intended for this to be a like a sequel to ER, but the family of the writer didn't want it, so they had to rework it a little bit. And apparently there's like even a lawsuit going on because of that. But still, fantastic watch. Essentially it's a full on like a 12-hour day and then some. Ends up being a 15-hour day. It's real time. Really good show. So watch that. The news. There's so much going on right now, right? Like there's Handmaid's Tale that's happening right now. New episode is coming out late in a few hours, Tuesday morning. What else? We got Last of Us, which we'll talk about. Hacks season 4 is out. Great little comedy there. Everyone should watch that show. It's a really good show, really fun show. What else have I been watching? Devil May Cry. Watched a bit of that. That was okay. I overall kind of liked it. Obviously, Daredevil. Rewatching Andor season 1.
Yep. Good call.
Yep.
That's
rewatching that.
Woo.
Getting
excited. Can't lie. It's good seeing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Diego Luna doing the interviews and whatnot and getting it all hyped up. Oof.
Should be good. Should be really good. So I've been doing, and honestly, I haven't really been playing too much. It's just I just can't right now. I don't have the focus for playing. Like I say, there's not many games now. Like even sports games, you can't just pick up, play like a round or two and drop it, right? Like you have to put too much time into playing video games right now. And I just don't have that in me, which kind of sucks, but I come in waves when it comes to video games and gaming in general. So that's that there.
I'll tell you something funny. They changed the way on Xbox. Now, first of all, I saw the increase in the PlayStation yearly for our renewals, and I dropped my subscription back to basic because I'm not spending $250 to just be able to play a free game each month when I get the games on Xbox for Game Pass, right? So it's like almost the exact same games. And Xbox are dropping more lately than Sony seemed to be. Like, I know it came over to Sony, the Indiana Jones game, but that was like Xbox for 3 or 4 months where you could just play it on that. But they changed the way that the game starts now, and it comes up with a card, and you have to click on the play it now. But in the statistics on the card, it tells you how much time you've put in on the game. And this is one of those things, Boris, where I was slightly ashamed / proud of Animal Crossing when I was racking up all of those hours. I've been playing this Forza Horizon 5 video game religiously since its beginning 3 years ago. I put in 59 days and 12 hours.
That's ridiculous.
Like 2 months. Straight play.
2 months of your entire life.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I simultaneously proud and crushed. Like, that's the only way I can describe it. I'm like, what world am I living in when that's what I did for 2 months of my life? Like 1,400 hours. And this week it goes live for PlayStation 5. So the player increase is going to be from 45 million to probably 150 million. So there's going to be fresh meat for the grinder.
Jesus Christ, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was upsetting. It's upsetting. It's one thing when they aggregate it all, like they sometimes do with Spotify, a year-end Wrapped, and it's like, you played video games this year, huh? And it's like, oh, okay, well, the numbers are just so meaningless because you can just sit in the game sometimes and things like that. But I don't do that in the racing game. I always feel like driving the car. I always feel like doing something, completing something. Got that completionist bug in me, which I never used to have, but welcome to my Carlsberg years. But yeah, I've been playing around more than I've been watching less TV and playing around more with the video games. I'll be honest. And just dipping my toes into games. A lot of it isn't for me, but hey, I'll give a lot of indie games and things like that ago now, because they feel like the types of games that you can pop in and out of now. Whereas it's harder with, like you say, some of the sports games, because they require a development loop and to unlock the things that you would have fun doing takes a long time, and to get to that fuzzy core of a game, and the investment's too high. And as well, the older I get, the harder it is to learn new controls. Like, if I pick up a game and I can't remember how to play it, that game is done. If it doesn't follow standard game controls of fire is this trigger, reload is this button, that type of thing, I'm done. So figure that out.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, no, it's true though.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, they try to keep the controls as uniform as they humanly possible, right? And I do appreciate that, at least. Again, in the interest of just being able to pick up a game and playing it, right? I hate when they try to reinvent the wheel or they invert things just for the sake of being different, and it's like it just melts the mind at this point.
I have played a little bit of Atomfall, and I enjoy that. And I'm not really the type of player that likes that type of game. I'm not a huge Fallout player, but Atomfall has a really British sense of humor, and it also feels like a lot smaller of a world, so that's less intimidating to me. But
yep,
that's been one that I wanted to specifically point out on the show, because it's a good game. It's good. It's worth checking out if you've got Game Pass. It's there. It's just ready to play.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and
sorry, I'm just yeah.
Oh, and I did fire up my Nintendo.
But yeah, no, it's just
because we haven't talked about Nintendo Switch 2 coming, and the price points that are going on in that are just nutty, in my opinion. Like, it's industry.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that right now. Let's talk about that right now, right? There's a lot going on right now, right? You have to take into consideration that there's going to be, thanks to certain things and certain people in particular, the prices of raw materials is going to be all over the place. Chip prices and even chips in general. Like Alex, my nephew, he even had to rush to build his PC because you don't know what the prices are going to be in a month or two, right? But here's the thing, though. I kind of feel also that companies are going to be using that as an excuse to raise prices. So let's talk about the Switch 2. Obviously, it was announced earlier this month, and right before things were supposed to go live for pre-sales, the whole tariff fiasco happened, and Nintendo decided to pause it for the USA, and in turn, they paused it for Canada as well, which was a very ballsy and interesting move, but it is what it is. Pre-sales do start this Thursday on the 24th. The price point, so let's see, it is what, $500 American?
$449 American without Mario Kart World. $500 with Mario Kart World. If you want to buy Mario Kart World separately, it's going to be $80 USD. And if you want the cartridge, it's going to be $90. So this breaks that roof of video games crossing into the $90 USD, which we thought GTA 6 might be the first candidate game to do that. Switch, like Nintendo just went and said, no, pretty much our whole library is going to be starting at $80 digitally, $90 for cartridge. And they're just telling everybody, too bad. If you don't want to play Nintendo, if you want cheaper Nintendo stuff, then buy a Switch, a regular Switch.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially what they said. So I really love the quality control that Nintendo has on its gaming. The games feel fantastic. I just really hate the attitude. It's like the attitude of Ubisoft, and they're just like, that's the gaming industry in general. It's
fuck you. If you don't want it, then don't play it, right? Like that's the attitude that they're taking. They're being really shitty to consumers. Here in Canada, it's priced at $629.99, so $630 for the standalone model, and $699 for the Switch 2 plus Mario Kart bundle.
Oof, that's a lot of dosh. You know, just for a handheld gaming system.
How much did we pay? Isn't this what we paid for PS5?
Yeah, it is. And then the accessories, like if you want the dock, I assume the base system in the box will come with the dock, but you can buy extra docks, or maybe the dock is like $120 US. Every accessory is just nuts. And they didn't even improve the Joy-Cons. They're still driftable. So, you know, Nintendo doesn't learn from all these lawsuits and everything like that. They just keep on putting out there a product that, by and large, I'm not going to complain about the product. I find that their stuff it's kind of like buying Apple stuff. It just works. It doesn't need the most technology in order to have the most play. It's not an impedance to it. Whereas you feel like you're in an arms race with PS5 and Xbox Series X and everything. You're always like, I have more RAM. Well, my RAM is faster. Well, my SSD is quicker than yours, and blah, blah, blah. You don't get that detailing like that. And it sounds like the Switch 2 is going to be a great system. But we're getting into these mini handheld monster PCs at this point. Like that seems to be where Xbox is heading, because they're coming out with this year, apparently, a handheld streaming device. So I expect that they're going to team up with Asus. Asus will shadow make basically a ROG, a Republic of Gaming rig, and rebrand it with Xbox, right? So you didn't hear that from me officially or anything. I'm just the speculation market is pretty
speculation.
Pretty
speculation.
right on that one, yeah.
Yep. But again, the thing that gets to me and consumers, like what consumers fail to realize is we do have the power to make these changes. We do have the power to grab these companies by the balls and hold them accountable. But people are just want to be the first to play, want to be the first to touch it, want to be the first to hold it, want to be the first to do whatever. And you're right, like it's just it's gotten to the point where, okay, cool, you can be the first, but at what cost? And that's what's happening. You know, it's our rant. It's our constant rant, I feel, every episode about what Ubisoft and that stuff and all that, right? Like, yeah, like we have been ranted with Dax and stuff.
Yeah, we have to, as consumers, vote with our pocketbook, right? It's that simple as vote with your wallet. But it's even to the point where the Zelda games, they're bringing out Switch 2 components, which are you still have to pay a fee to play it. And then if you want the additional content, you have to re-buy. Like if you don't already have it, you have to buy it again. It's not even like Game of the Year edition where they just give you everything for the Switch 2. It's a 7-year-old game that's repackaged, resold to you so that it can play better on this. And even the demo, you know how you had on the PlayStation that adorable little Astrobot introduction, like,
yeah, I know,
controller, bling bling bling, everything like that. I have no problem with them making a game, a platform game, and selling it. Brilliant, because people really responded to that game that was included with the system that just gave you a tour. Nintendo are charging $10 US in order to be able to take a tour of the Switch 2's new features. That is like spit in your face. Crass consumer.
It really is. It really is, right? There's zero reason for it, and it's really pissing me off more and more.
Same with Ubisoft.
To the point where I'm debating: do I want this day one, or am I going to be a sucker? Right?
I'm holding out until I see a discount. Like, honest to goodness, I fired up my Switch and I basically stopped using it. I put Bayonetta in, and I put that newest Zelda game, which I had a tough time. You know, and it's me. It's not the game. It's me. It's not the game that I'm good at. But I put in Animal Crossing because I did buy an Animal Crossing Lego set for cheap.
Yeah.
And I put in Animal Crossing, and I wasn't very nostalgic. It felt more like, oh yeah, this is what I did for a year when I was really bored at home.
Yeah.
It wasn't like going back to WoW and going, oh, let's go to Ironforge, or let's, you know what I mean? There was no nostalgia feeling at all. It was just more like, oh yeah, this is a little puny little shit island that I used to stalk.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, yeah, all right, but at least I've got it all hooked up, connected, the controllers charged, everything like that. So I'm like, it's a good little system. It's fun for what it
I
does.
play from time to time because that's the system where I have my main Fortnite account, right? So
I still have yet to play a game of Fortnite.
it's what I play with my nephews and brother, right? So
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I totally get it, because if I had somebody in my life that was like that, I'd play it too, just to be social. I did play it. I did originally play it on the PS4. I played it when it was a tower defense game in beta. And then I was just like, oh man, you guys lost me. I was just uninstall. Don't know what the hell's going on in this game.
yeah.
So
man, it's just, again, corporate greed has taken over, but we as consumers, we do have the power, we just don't have the balls. That's what it comes down to, unfortunately, right?
Yeah, and the issue is just same as, let's say you pre-order a video game and you go, okay, I pre-ordered it, great, it's ready, which you should never do, but we're human beings, we do it. You pre-order the game and then you go, oh look, for $35 I get all the content and 3 days early access, so you get to be the beta tester.
Exactly. That's
and yet
the only game that
I
do that for. The only game that I do that for is the WWE 2K games, and that's just because I review them, right? So
yeah, no, I get it. Like I did it for Starfield. I did it for Forza Horizon 5. But still, the point is that they did this same trick with Forza Horizon 5 on the PlayStation. The game's been out over 3 years, and they're offering early access to PlayStation users this week because it goes live on Thursday.
Yeah.
Like, how ridiculous is that?
Yeah, it really is. It's out there, to say the least, right? Like, it's fuck. I don't know. These video game companies are just getting worse and worse and worse. It's what bothers me is that they set the precedence to how tech companies in general treat consumers, and it's only getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, same as EA with the loot boxes, and like everything. Like what was it? Oblivion or Elder Scrolls. The big uproar was you spent $2.50 and you got the horse skin.
Yeah.
And that was like the first paid download content that hit mass market. And there's memes galore about that at the time. And they're re-releasing it now. It's supposedly shadow dropping tomorrow on Xbox, but it's going to come out on PlayStation 5. And they've redone the graphics, and the horse, you can still buy the skin. Someone found all the ads online about how they were marketing it. So, and we're all gonna do hilarious. It, I'm sure.
That's hilarious.
It doesn't bother me as much when it goes to Game Pass, because Game Pass, I pay a monthly fee, and I don't really have to buy video games anymore. So they're saving me the $90 Canadian cost, because I'm giving them 20 some odd or $30 a month to just give me access to all the games all the time, wherever I want them. I can do them on the computer. I can do them on my Xbox, whatever. I'm sure with Nintendo, there's going to be a Game Pass partnership where you're going to be able to get Game Pass on Nintendo, because they're all about the money right now. That's all that motivates Microsoft is we got to recoup the $69 billion we spent on Blizzard.
Yep. Yeah. Video game companies, tech companies, interesting stuff. Something that really made me laugh is AI, and I think our next episode. Last time we were supposed to do a whole episode on AI. I think we're going to move that to next week or the next episode, which we really want to do next week. I was reading that the powers that be at ChatGPT are bitching and moaning because people are saying thank you and being polite to the AI, and they're essentially saying how much energy and money it's costing them because of that reply to thank you.
Suck on it.
You know what?
So people want politeness in their life. That's why Canada is popular. More than anything else in the world. We are the people that always get, that statement, oh, Canadians are just so polite. And I'm sure that we're the ones, because my dad talks to Google downstairs when he wants to turn off the light and everything. And he tells it thank you every night. And the fucking thing has learned that when he does it, he's going to say it. And it responds back to him now and says, oh, thank you. Like,
it's just so funny. But man, it's just the AI is just a fucking, I hate it so much. But we'll talk about that in detail. I just wanted to bring that up real quick because it is something that really did make me laugh overall. Let us talk about Star Wars Celebration Japan 2025. This kind of came out of nowhere. Like I completely forgot about it, to be honest.
I didn't because my Star Wars radar is always pinging. So I was actually up Thursday night when the live broadcast started at like 11 o'clock at night. And I watched a bit of them. They're fun to watch. Obviously, this time with the time zone differences, it was more so I'd just aggregate them the next day. But yeah, it's always good. This one was one that was kind of downplayed because it just didn't look like the panels had a lot of good guests. Like there were some, but it wasn't as packed as other years. And then stuff just started appearing because there was a lot of stuff like Tales of the Jedi Underworld or something. There's a new thing that's dropping on May the 4th. That's an animated series about Ventress and Cad Bane, I think. So it's all about the underworld stuff. And that generates interest. And then they announced Darth Maul has a new show coming up, and Sam Witwer is voicing Darth Maul again. So this is going to take place in between where it drops off in the Clone Wars or Rebels and his death. Like it's going to cover it's going to cover what happened in Solo and everything like that. So it's going to be Darth Maul running a crime syndicate, how he did it, and everything like that. So that I'm almost sick of Darth Maul showing up in everything, but at the same rate, it's a good story to tell. So I don't really have a problem with it.
Star Wars Visions, The Ninth Jedi is going to be coming out. Really looking forward to that. That looks really cool. Ahsoka season 2 officially got more into it. Hayden Christensen, man, I love that redemption arc for that kid.
Yeah, him and Ahmed Best are the two that I celebrate the most, and celebrations are a big part of those. They're starting practical shooting next week for Ahsoka season 2, and they finally announced the replacement for Ray Stevenson. I forget the guy's name, the gentleman's name. I know it's one of his close friends. Baylan Skoll, and they officially unveiled him and basically gave Ray recognition for his incredible work in season 1. And I'm glad that Disney made the good choice, the proper choice of recasting that role and not either writing it out or not doing the AI bullshit thing, or, with the creepy dead eye thing. I don't like that. I'd rather it just be recast. My brain will learn. If it's a good actor, they're going to pull it off. Sigourney Weaver Sigourney was there promoting Mando and Grogu, which is coming out next year. And then we had probably the biggest surprise, the shocker right off the top that even my dad pointed out, that there's a new Star Wars film slated for 2027 that's already got a script being greenlit, got a director in Sean Levy, the guy who does a lot of the movies we love, and Ryan Gosling and Star Wars Starfighter is coming. So I'm sure that that's going to be a rewrite of probably that Patty Jenkins.
That's what movie. I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, I'm thinking that it's going to have the bones of that.
That's what I'm thinking it as well. Rebuild the Galaxy, Pieces of the Past, September 19th. It's all dropping. Again, Star Wars Starfighter kind of surprised everyone. Sean Levy, like you mentioned, starring Ryan Gosling. Who would have fucking thought? Also, we got the first real look at Grogu, at Mandalorian and Grogu, May 22nd, 2026.
Yep, exciting times with Sigourney. I didn't look at any of the leaks. I'm past that point in my life where I go and ferret out this crap on YouTube or whatever. I'll see it when the stuff starts to hit. But I'm cautiously optimistic. I think that movie out of all of them could be the biggest train wreck. But that's just my fear at this point. They all could be train wrecks. I don't know, but the only thing that I can bank on after seeing early reviews of people who've seen the entire season 2 of Andor, Disney have been brave with this because they're allowing people to talk about it, review it, and that signals confidence from the studio because they know that they have a good product here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty hyped for that. It's just like DareDevil Born Again or whatever it was. That one.
Born Again, yeah.
Freaking fantastic production. I really enjoyed the story, the characters, the show, and I've never watched a Daredevil anything. I haven't been able to suffer through one episode. The Netflix stuff interested me, but this was good.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a second. Actually, let's just fuck it. Let's just jump over to Daredevil Born Again. Interesting. Not as good as the Netflix shows. I will say that. The Netflix shows had this aura around them. This felt like a Disney production. This felt, and you can tell what was filmed before reshoots and what was filmed after reshoots. I always felt, and I had this conversation with someone yesterday who hated Born Again, but you can tell, like, you shouldn't, yeah, there were a lot of reshoots on this. Charlie Cox was not happy with the final product, and it went into full reshoots, and that's when they brought in the Punisher, that's when they brought in Karen Page, that's when they brought in Foggy, that's when they brought in a lot of elements that people really enjoyed from this season of Daredevil.
Those are key to finding the anger and the angst and whatnot. Like, even I could feel the chemistry of those characters, like with Deborah Ann Woll, and you know what I mean? Like, it really hit with a tone that even though I'm not steeped in it,
mm-hmm.
you could feel it. And that's the mark of a good show to me. If I can pick up season 4 of Daredevil and do a watch of it and thoroughly enjoy it, that's the sign of a well put together show for me. But I can understand there's a lot of people who do a lot more dedicated fan stuff, i.e. reading the comics, stuff like that, that may have a different opinion or know the storyline better than I do as a guy who doesn't read Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure this is
I'm at this point where I don't give a shit about the source material as much anymore. I used to like, I was never that fan, but I used to complain a little bit, but now I'm just at the point where I'm letting the people who put it on TV do their job. And a perfect example of that is the next thing that we're going to be talking about, and that's Last of Us. We have seen some not major changes, but changes from the video game to the TV. And I'm a fan of the changes that they've made. We're not going to get into ultimate spoilers. Episode 2 was it. And seeing the reaction made me laugh because who hated The Last of Us 2 video game versus who doesn't know anything about The Last of Us, and kind of seeing their reaction has been hilarious, because people who just watch the TV show have been impressed, And right now they're crying. Whereas people who played the video games, they're acting like this is 2020 again.
Yeah. And here's the interesting part. The people who made the show, and that includes the people who made the video game, they made a choice with the series, the TV series, to do something that the video game should have done. And that was tell Abby's story straight from the beginning, including, when Abby's burying her father at the graveyard at the end of the first season. It picks up where the end of the first season left off.
Yep.
That sets up her character so much better than the way they did it in the video game. The video game was never really clear on that until you really started getting into the issues of Abby, like until the second half of the game. And I enjoyed the fact that they did it on outset in order to keep the audiences. It was like they were like, well, what was the weak point in the video game? Well, we just went to straight violence and we just did this and we just did that and we wanted to engage the players. Not bad calls, but this was treated so much better, which makes for better TV.
Also, the people who were present when shit hit the fan makes lasting impact and makes more sense as to why she joins Ellie on her story arc moving forward.
Yep, exactly. And that's the stuff that I'm like, I can't cover it up. I never would. I started playing that video game. The video game started really getting to me. And it was basically the events that happened in this episode that really shook me. And then I played through, I've uncovered major plot points, but I ended up just watching a YouTube video of the remainder of Last of Us 2, just because I wanted to understand what all the outcry was. And the interesting part was I watched it by a guy who hated it on the first playthrough and was really loving it on subsequent playthroughs. The only thing I can say about the video game is that it's more focused on violence than probably the show will be. And that doesn't mean the show is not going to be violent.
Of course, even what happened at the end of episode 2 was a lot more brutal in the video game.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, it had echoes of what was a really over the top scene. The only time like video games have made me uncomfortable are when I've played Last of Us, the first one, the second one, and probably parts of GTA 5 story. Were just things that made me question my sanity while I was sitting there and hooking a guy up to a car battery and electrocuting him. That type of thing. They make you do some things that are really, I don't know, not very good for your short-term memory.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, and remember, you can't do a direct, like you can, but you can't a direct I guess retelling of the story from a video game to a TV show. I know that people put all the cutscenes together and blah 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 blah, but there are just certain things the way that it's episodic, it just has to be absolutely different, right? So I'm happy with the changes, right? And I'm liking this season. I love watching this show and talking to people who have no idea what Last of Us even is, because they never played the video game. So seeing how much they're enjoying it makes me enjoy it too.
Yeah, and for me, it's going to be like that from here on out for the rest of season 2 and season 3, which will just be The Last of Us 2. Because this is getting probably one more episode, and that's as deep as I scratched. And I think the element that you're talking about in the gaming end of it is when you're playing it, you're playing through so much of action and video gameness. You know what I mean? Like that's part of the game, is that you've got to muddle through levels, level design, things like that. But those moments and that repetition or frustration sometimes makes the character more endearing to you. And that is something that the show has to create without having that portal of experience. They have to do it through, depiction. They have to do it through gentleness of character. They have to do it through effective acting decisions and directing, and cuts that make sense and getting emotion right. And that was the amazing job, especially with episode 2. It got emotion right. It touched on, the immediacy of the situation. And my goodness, when Abby's cornered by those zombies and the fence and everything like that, I remember playing something like that in the video game and it making me feel very uncomfortable. Like, those scenes were instantly like, oh, that's burned here. Like that gave me nightmares. But yeah.
Yep, exactly. But we'll see where they go. Like I'm invested in The Last of Us at this point, to say the least.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say we're going to be very invested over the next few weeks for Last of Us 2 and for Andor season 2. I think those are locks on schedule for a lot of people. Sunday and Tuesday nights.
Yeah, we'll be talking about those shows every week here on the It's Canon Podcast around Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. All right, Phil, what else do you want to talk about?
May 4th, for those Lego fans, I know we probably don't have any, but me being a Lego nerd, as we saw, Ahsoka, Ashley Eckstein, has her Ahsoka bobblehead. I think it's dropping. And she's voicing the character in the new Lego show, the sequel, the second series. As is Ahmed Best, he's unofficially returning as Darth Jar Jar. So that'll be fun. But they've announced all the bonuses and whatnot. So May the 4th stuff is out. It's apparently a 3 minifig pack of clone cadets and one of those monitoring robots, which for May 4th is a great promo because you get 3 unique minifigs that have arm printing and everything. So I think the threshold's going to be 160 USD. So, and you get that for free. Don't be surprised if they sell out. So not to pressure you, but get in there, get it early. And yeah, the rest of the sets have dropped. A new U-Wing that's pared down for Andor that has some interesting minifigs and things like that. Go check it out if that's your deal. It's not a bad year for Star Wars sets so far, that what I've seen. Yep. Most of the sets, even though they're smaller sized, are right sized, I would say. And they even have the Star Wars logo coming out in Lego. So that's
I want that.
Yeah, it's going to be literally the centerpiece of a lot of collections because you could put it in on a case like this in behind, or you could put it in the middle of all your Star Wars Lego, and it's going to really set it off. if you know.
That's really cool. I like that. That's smart.
Yeah, and they did the same thing with Marvel, but it doesn't look half as good because they use snot technique, so studs not on the side. So anyhow, it's a technique where it hides the studs, and it's a sharp set. There's a lot of good sets, especially coming up this May 4th, and yeah, and as well a buildable K2SO is coming down.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that looks good too. These buildable characters are getting really good. Yeah, there's a lot of fun things to keep your eye out for. It's a good time. Oh, and Slave 1 is the UCS.
Yes.
With Jango Fett with arm printing. So that's I think it's 269 USD. So it's going to be about 350 Canadian, which isn't cheap. but that scales very well to the Boba Fett Slave one that they released back in 2017. If you're a geek like me, I've still got mine unbuilt in box. So that now has competition.
I gotta build my Boba Fett mask.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because
picture.
Yeah, because they're bringing out Jango Fett now too.
Yeah,
that's coming out.
Yeah,
so they're back.
I think I gotta build that.
Yeah, there's Kylo Ren as well this year, and they brought out an AT pilot helmet. And if you got the TIE Fighter helmet like I did, that thing shot up to about 800 USD new in box. Now, I know the AT-AT will be cheaper because it's widely available versus that one was only available at Target and Lego.com. But I do have an unbuilt one downstairs.
Very cool. That's awesome. Lego. The just you know what? I might do that this week. Build my Boba Fett mask. Kill some time doing that. Should be fun.
Yeah, the Kylo Ren mask, apparently all the pieces are printed, so there's no annoying stickers. The Jango Fett is all stickers. So just be forewarned if you try to compliment it, it's gonna get frustrating because those stickers look like a bitch.
I know, I can imagine.
All
you know what time it is, Phil?
I hear the music, which means that we don't have to go home, but we can't stay here.
Pretty much.
Everybody, you can track us down on www.aplusproductions.com. Track us down on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook at It's Canon Podcast. You can email us at show@itscanonpodcast.com. And wherever you find your podcast, you're going to find the It's Canon Podcast. So please leave a like and review. If at all possible, leave a like if you're watching us on YouTube. And be sure to tell your friends all about us and track us down, especially if you like wrestling and sports talk on A Plus Productions.
That's right. We only have 2 feeds now. Every show that we do on A Plus Productions is going to be on the A Plus Productions feed. So follow that. That's where the It's Canon Podcast is. You can also search for It's Canon Podcast and just be forewarned that you will see A Plus Productions. So that's the best place where you can find everything A Plus Productions. Phil, as always, it's been a pleasure. And a huge thank you to everyone who has supported us, everyone who sends messages, everyone who wants us to come back and wants to do stuff. But thank you for understanding that sometimes real life is a lot more important than having geek chat. But we do appreciate everyone who has reached out. Thank you so much, Phil. Thank you so much, listeners. We will be back hopefully next week to chat more. All things geek, all things pop culture, all things nerd, all things everything. And the best part of it is that it's all in canon. He's Phil. I'm Boris. Until next time, stay tranquilo.